My name is Miss Estrom. You can call me Megan if that makes you feel more comfortable. We before the video started, we went over confidentiality. That said that I can't share anything outside of this room except with my professor. The only exception is if you are planning on hurting yourself or someone else. Do you have any questions?
No.
Okay. So can you tell me about a transition that you went through in your life?
I transitioned, I believe, was when I moved from Mexico to the United States. It was like 3 years ago. It was during my junior year of high school. So I think that was just like the biggest transition the biggest impact in my life, going from or moving from one country to another, different language, different setting and atmosphere. I think that was something that impacted me very much.
Can you explain how you felt coming over to the United States?
Well, at first I was kind of like excited because it's something different, and like I've heard of like other stories, the United States like the best place. It's like they have a lot of opportunities and you're more free and stuff. But then at the same time, I was like afraid because I'm leaving behind like my friends, my family, my home where I grew up and stuff. So it was kind of like frightening at the same time.
Do you feel as if the expectations that you had before you came here, do you find them to be true?
In a way, like I said, there is more freedom here than there was in Mexico. Like in Mexico, there's like a lot of gangs and violence and stuff. So in coming here, I felt more like secure and safe. Like there's not much going on.
Okay. And who did you come here with?
With my family, my parents and my sisters.
Can you explain the relationship you have with your family?
I'm very close to them with my parents and my siblings. Like we're all together as a family, and that's one thing of a Hispanic culture. Family is like the most important thing.
So do you feel as if you brought the Hispanic culture here, or do you feel like it's faded away?
No, I feel like we're still together, united. We're working through things together, through obstacles, learning this new language and this new culture coming here.
Can you explain any difficulties you faced here in the U.S.?
Yeah, so one of the main difficulties I had was obviously learning a new language, which was English. So in Mexico, obviously we speak Spanish, and then coming here, I had to learn another language, and it was kind of hard because like they don't really have like accents like Mexicans do. So learning all this like the alphabet and like all the words and stuff in English was kind of like hard for me because I wasn't able to like communicate with my peers.
Was there like a motivation for you to learn English?
Yes, so my motivation was school. I love school and I know I want to become someone and something in this world. So I believe that was like my main motivation.
Okay, so when you say someone or something, like can you elaborate on that?
Yeah, so in Mexico, like it's hard to like get a degree in an education because of like money wise. So coming here, I know there's a lot of opportunities, a lot of scholarships, and I want to become a social work in the future and be able to give back to my community.
That's cool. What type, do you know like where in the social work field you want to go?
I'm not sure, but I am interested in working with like teenagers, high school students around that age. Perhaps like either like counseling or so.
Okay. So can you explain a little bit about what you learned from going through the transition?
Like, what do you mean?
Can you, what I mean by that question is, did you learn anything about yourself through the transition experience?
Well, one thing I did realize were that my values were being tested because in the beginning I thought I was very like strong and confident and open-minded, but transitioning here I became more close-minded and just feared a lot of things.
Can you explain to me what you feared?
I fear like I wasn't gonna be accepted in the like community and stuff because of my culture, my background.
And did your parents help you with any of those fears?
Well, yeah, my parents have been my biggest supporters and motivation. They help me feel better and tell me that I can do this, just to keep pushing forward and stuff.
And what got you through the transition?
I think the support of my parents and my siblings as well. One of my siblings, she recently just graduated with her bachelor's degree. So because of her, like she's my biggest inspiration, and she helps me to like move forward and tells me to never give up.
Cool. So how do you think the transition experience helped you grow as a person?
It has helped me grow to become more independent because I depended a lot on my parents. But coming here, I realized that you are on your own basically. So becoming independent.
So when you feel, when you say that you feel like you're on your own, what do you mean by that?
Well, obviously, I would get help from my sister and my parents, but now I feel like I'm on my own. Like I have to do stuff by myself, like go to school. I had to learn how to drive by myself as well, and all these other obstacles.
Okay. How do you feel about being independent?
At first, it was stressful because I depend a lot on my parents. But then I got the hang of it and realized, like, I got this. I can do it on my own.
And how do your parents feel about you becoming independent from them?
At first, they were concerned because in the Hispanic culture, like, parents don't really like to let you loose. Mm-hmm. They like to keep you with them. So they also were learning with me that I have to become independent and go do things on my own and not depend on them all the time.
Can you tell me a little bit more about the Hispanic culture? Just for my better understanding.
Like in what ways?
I guess like family wise, yeah.
Well, in the Hispanic culture, as I mentioned earlier, we're very united. We always stick to each other. We help each other through many things in life. Most of the times, like my parents are very old school. They like to keep us at the house. They want us to live at the house until we're like married. And once we're married, we become independent. That's when we become independent and just start living with our husband and create our own family.
And how do you feel about that?
Well, growing up, I've seen that as normal. You know, I've seen that a lot in Mexico. How a lot of kids like they leave their parents' house until they're married. Mm-hmm. So I don't have like any issue with that.
Okay. So you originally said that you came here for school. How was your transition?
So when I transitioned, I was coming as a junior in high school. And when I transitioned here, they told me that I had to start back from my junior year. Because I was ending junior year, and they told me that I had to restart that year because of like the process here is too advanced and the process over there is too behind. So at first it was frustrating because I felt like a whole year went to waste. And now I'm backed up with other students who are younger than me, and I ended up being like the oldest.
Mm-hmm. So I'm hearing that you're frustrated. You were frustrated because you were one of the oldest in the class, and you had to restart your junior year again. Mm-hmm. Okay. So how do you feel about the school system here?
I feel like it's good. It's very different from what I was being learned over there or taught over there. But I feel like it's very helpful. I get a lot of help from tutors. I've been staying after school, or I used to stay after school and get help from the tutors my junior and senior year. I made progress because I used to take an ESL class to learn about English and stuff. So I made progress to the point where by my senior year, I was out of that class and I was able to blend in with the rest of the students.
Okay. And you said that there were differences between like the school you went to before and the school system here, I guess. Can you explain the differences?
Just the way they taught, like for example, math. They were very different because back then they didn't really have much calculators, so we had to do everything by hand and through every process. And here, obviously, you guys have more materials like calculators and stuff, so it was making things more simple and easier instead of like going through the whole process.
So do you feel like you have had an easier time with school here?
I feel like I have, and like I said, with the support of the tutors, I feel like they have helped me very much.
So in college, how was the transition from high school to college?
It was good, thanks to my advisor who helped me transition from high school to college. Actually, she was a counselor in high school. She was very helpful. She helped me with picking classes, or picking, first of all, the university I wanted to transition into. So I think she was a great help with this process.
And how are you feeling about college now, like now that you're in classes?
Obviously it's different from high school classes, and at first I did panic because for me university is like a big thing, and like I would think it would be more complicated and hard, the classes, like it would be way difficult, but I think with the help of the instructors that I've been having, they have been very helpful as well.
Okay. In what ways have they been helpful?
Well, when I ask questions, they reply or respond back with the appropriate answer, and basically, like I usually stay after class, and if I have any questions, I ask them, or I shoot them an email. They're very communicative, I guess you can say.
And what does your support system look like right now with like being in
college? Well, at the moment, I have 2 jobs. So it's very hard. Wow. I'm paying out of pocket because obviously I'm paying out of like the state basically. And yeah, it's rough. My parents have tried helping me out, but right now my mom is not working. So the only support at my house is my dad.
Okay. Can you explain how you feel about working 2 jobs and going to school?
It's very stressful having 2 jobs. And then having school takes up a lot of my time. I feel very tired every day. Sometimes I come to school very sleepy, or I come late to classes because I can't wake up in the morning. So it's like very hard. And then trying to do my homework between like work time and stuff, like it's very difficult.
Can you tell me like a little bit about how you organize your day? Like what does your typical day look like?
Yeah, so I use an agenda and I split the times for my job and school. And I try, both of my jobs are very flexible. They go based on my schedule. So I could either block a day or a couple hours to use that time wisely with doing my homework.
That's nice. That's very accommodating.
Yeah.
Do you feel like your employers support you going through college?
Yes. So one of my jobs is at South Mountain Community College. So my boss is very comprehensive, and she understands that college or university is very hard and stuff. So she knows the workload and everything. So she tells me whenever I can work, basically. Like she'll be there to support me.
And can you tell me a little bit about your second job?
My second job, I work for the company Red Bull, and yeah, it's very funny because we drive the minis around.
Yeah.
All I have to do is give out Red Bulls and promote the brand. So it's a very easy job. It's not very complicated. It just takes up obviously time